ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Behind the Mic, Raw and Uncut. My name is Anton Scott. I'm your host for tonight, along with
Gloria Talley,
Anastasia Johnson.
Dawn Richards.
Okay, so ladies, tonight the topic of subject will be relationships. Now, me personally, I've never been in the perfect relationship, so I want to see y'all how y'all feel about it. Like, what's y'all end goals and what y'all feel is good in a relationship and whatnot. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I hope y'all ready.
All right. Yeah, so I'm really excited that everyone is here. Dawn, welcome. You too, Stacy. We really appreciate the both of you all coming in and helping Anton and I out. We felt like this was a conversation for a lot of folk. And it is like Anton says, there's not one of us that has actually known of a perfect relationship, but there are good relationships, but there also are toxic relationships that can be misconstrued as good relationships.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I guess Anton, just give us your idea of what relationship goals that you may have or that you feel like you've also conquered or what have you.
Okay, so to me, a good relationship is open communication. Let's be honest, everybody is different. Nobody's ever going to agree on everything 100% of the time. But if you can sit down and have a conversation, and when I say that, it's not just communication, it's comprehension. Instead of being defensive and getting in your feelings about what the person is saying to you, just take a step back and actually hear what the person is saying. That way you can communicate back, because a lot of things with communication can be fixed. I don't think there's no problem that can't be fixed. Me personally, I think the only thing you can't really come back from is cheating. Once you step out on somebody, you broke everything. And trust and loyalty, it's broke. Like, you can't sit in my face and tell me you love me, but then you go out and you're giving that love to somebody else. Like, that's asinine. Like, to me, that's a form of mental health. If you really think you love somebody and you can go out and you can sleep with Tom, Dick, Harry, Susan, and Pat, like, you're not mentally stable. You're not. Because loyalty, it means a lot. Now, I know it don't mean a lot in today's culture. I get it, but I guess I was built different. So.
Well, yeah, just out of curiosity, Don, what do you think about today's culture referencing the idea of a good relationship versus yesteryear's culture of a good relationship?
I think that in this day of age, that it's so different than it used to be. I think he's saying about cheating, besides cheating or adultery or whatever, that this is my perspective of what Anton just said, that he feels it can be fixed only if that was not the main problem. I don't agree with that, because I am an alcoholic and I have been through it all. But when one person wants to recover and one is not in recovery, that is a whole nother issue. And that I'm in the middle of a divorce separation now, and it had nothing to do with adultery and cheating, but a lot of other things that I guess we'll talk about later, as far as mental, going to therapy. And when one person wants to work on themselves and the other does not, it will not work.
Okay, so can I ask a question?
Yes.
You said it's not about cheating, right? You don't feel like the addiction is cheating? They would rather choose the addiction over you? That's not cheating?
I guess I was thinking, cheating as in adultery. I guess if you look at it that way, then yes, that could be.
Okay, so let me say this. Okay, so cheating is not just physical. It's not just sex. People can cheat on you emotionally, spiritually, mentally. When I say cheating, I mean the person checks out on you.
Well, that changes everything then.
Okay.
Fred, mine was ruined from the very start. I'm sorry.
That changes the whole
What?
Mine was destroyed from the very, very beginning then. But y'all go ahead.
Okay. So Stacey, how do you feel?
I haven't been in a perfect relationship. I don't know what one is until now, the one I'm in right now. But as far as relationships in general, I believe 50-50, 80-20. Give and take. Everybody doing their part, making sure they're carrying their weight or they're holding their other partner up, making sure they're accountable for whatever their situation is. Now, is that true now? No. I'm a little older. Back in the day, it was you can have a whole relationship and you can have Tim, Terry, and John on the side and still keep your relationship. But it's all a secret. Not unless people are open to relationships like that. And that's a whole different story.
That's a whole
okay. So I mean, you got to understand, we're in 2023. The day we live in, there are relationships like that. There are open relationships. There are swingers. There's poly. There's all kind of things out here that people are running to and really not understanding what they're running to, because okay. So full disclosure, I have been in a poly relationship. I've been with 2 women at one time. It didn't work out. Because when you're in that kind of relationship, you can't favor one over the other. It has to be equal all the way across the board. Okay. And when one person feels like you're giving the other person too much attention or too much time or too much money or too much this or that, it doesn't work. I'm not in that kind of relationship now, thank God. There's a lot of things that happen in life that test you. Relationships are hard nowadays. Not only that, it's because, unfortunately, we let a lot of people into our relationships. We listen to a lot of wrong people. We turn to people when we're in our vulnerable space and we want to ask, well, so-and-so is doing this. And so what do I do? Well, let's look at the person you're asking. Okay. Do they have a good relationship? Are they mentally stable? Are they married? They got somebody on the side? So the person you're asking for these advice, 9 times out of 10 ain't the right people to be asking. And then there's a lot of people that don't go to therapy, because I heard Don say that. I've been to therapy when I was married. It didn't work because when we went to the therapist, the woman I was married to was like, well, I feel like the therapist is agreeing with you, so I don't want to go back. Well,
can I interject real quick? Can I interject? Yeah. That's the worst therapist to go to. And I have to be honest. In the beginning, when you guys, this is just Glo's opinion. I could be totally wrong. But I've often felt that when you go to therapy, initially it's about you. It's not about your whole relationship and all that. It's about you, because technically you got to change you before you
couples
can change
therapy.
Everything. Wait a minute, hold on. What I'm saying is the route to take. I understand couples therapy, but what I'm saying, the route is you got to fix yourself. Whatever's going on with you, you got to fix yourself. Then you attack the couples therapy. You see what I'm saying? Because right now, if you go straight into couples therapy off the cuff, that's a toxic situation. That is a toxic, because you do have those therapists that agree with the other person. And to be totally honest, there have been even ministers do that. Because I've done the therapy with the minister thing.
Mediators.
Yep.
Boy, it stopped me from going to the church. That's how I got. Come to find out. Will you catch the point I'm trying to make? Okay. So the whole thing I'm saying is like, before you go in and try doing couples therapy, fix yourself first. Fix yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can't help what other people are going to do. You don't know whether or not your significant other is going to go fix themselves. But just a word of advice, fix yourself first. Because I'll have to be honest with you. I did the therapy thing too. I tried the couples therapy. Initially, I did the couples therapy. It was with our minister. And then, which didn't work out very well. I kind of got up in the middle of it and looked at the minister and looked at my ex and said, I'm out. Come to find out they were really tight. They were real close. Okay. So it's like, you can't do that. It's like, you really need to find your own person. You need to find your own therapist. Make sure that that therapist is good for you, your psyche, your spirituality, your emotional stability, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you go ahead and you start up with the couples therapy. They're going to choose a side. I don't care how you look at it. They're going to choose a side.
They do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But so what do you think about that, Stacey?
I mean, I believe in couples therapy. I believe if you in a relationship with somebody and y'all want to move past certain situations or y'all want to walk down the aisle, couples therapy is good for me. Like premarital.
Oh, that's therapy.
That sure. I mean, I agree that people have their own issues and they need to work on their own problems. True. But therapy in itself, I believe it's a good thing, regardless if it's a female therapist, male therapist, a he, she, it, they, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Gotta keep all them pronouns in there just in case. Don't want to offend.
Absolutely. I understand. I feel you.
Keep all them pronouns in there. But I believe the relationship I'm in now, I believe that therapy will do good for me and that person. And I want to say, if we do go down the aisle, I believe marriage counseling should work as well, seeing it be my first.
I guess my question is, because I'll be honest with you, like I really went through maybe 2 or 3 therapists before I even found somebody that I was even interested in talking to. I have to be honest.
That's what I was gonna say. Is
yeah.
You can't just, you might not want to just jump into one therapist. It might take you a little bit to find one that works for you guys as a couple.
Right.
That I've been to different therapists, and like you said, they have picked sides, and then and when that happens, then it's all downhill from there.
You won't get your point across to your person, whoever that other person is. It's how can you get your point across when you got a therapist going, well, wait a minute. What do you mean?
Well,
wait a minute?
I think for one, you shouldn't find a therapist that knows you personally. I don't think anybody should go into therapy with anybody, whether it's a minister or anybody that knows one or the other. It should be somebody totally anonymous that you go in fresh. Okay. Now I do agree that you should go and work on yourself personally, because there's a lot of people who get in relationships that haven't dealt with the drama and the toxic things that happen in their last relationship, and they bring it into a new relationship. So to try to battle that, because let's be honest, I feel like we've all been with somebody that first couple months is okay. But once them red flags start popping up, then it's, well, you're acting just like him or you're acting just like her. But
you mean the honeymoon phase.
It's over. Once it's over, it's over. Okay. And there's no going back to that honeymoon phase, because especially if, and I don't know why this happens, but there's some people who get in relationships and move the person in with them immediately. When I say immediately, I'm like talking about like a week. And you don't know the person to be living with this person a week. You know, what happened to dating? What happened to courting? What happened to, well, let's figure out how you do in a stressful situation. Let's find out if you like hamburgers 6 days a week. If you like eating fucking out 7 days a week, like I don't. People don't get the time to know anybody, and then once you in a relationship and you got to battle this person's demons, that brings up a whole totally different avenue.
Yeah.
Don, what's your take on that?
I think everybody has to be willing. Both parties have to be willing to go. Unfortunately, mine was not. We went one time and that was the end of that. The first thing they asked us is, do you both want to work on it? I left it up to him and he really said no. And at that point I was like, then it is really done now.
So how long were you in this relationship?
For 8 years.
And y'all went to counseling once and he opted out of it?
Mm-hmm.
That's actually normal. That's
For
normal.
that's normal for who?
For a lot of men.
I think he felt that.
Not necessarily for you. Not necessarily for you. Okay, you can't think like you. We gotta think openly. You know what I'm saying? Because the truth is, men have a pride issue.
That's what I was just gonna say. I think it was more of his pride, and because I was the one to ask for a divorce, that kind of, I guess, pissed him off from the beginning.
Okay. So wait, you asked for a divorce before you went into therapy?
Correct. Yes.
Oh, so he thought it was over anyway. So there was no point of doing the therapy.
Oh, we were still gonna try. I guess I was willing to try, and then we set up the therapy session, but he wasn't willing to.
Oh, okay. Because maybe I'm a little confused. You wanted to try to work on the marriage, but you had already told him you wanted a divorce, right? Am I right? Okay.
I guess you could
speaking from a male.
About it, going back and forth.
I'm speaking from a male. If my woman comes to me and was like, I want a divorce, and then we had that argument about it, and then she's like, well, let's go to counseling. At that point, like, I already see where your mind's at. Like, I pretty much already got a foot out the door. Like, I can't speak for all men. I'm just saying what I think. If my woman, because when I went through my divorce, I was raised, once you get married, it's for life, good or bad, hell or high water, you know. But when she kept stepping out and doing what she did, she filed for divorce. I didn't file. I didn't really want to go through the procedure because my faith was telling me to fight for it. Just gonna be honest. Right now, today, looking back on it, I'm thanking God she did file for the divorce. I'm glad I've not stayed in that relationship. We're cool now because we have a son and we've had to work through some things, but that was a long journey for me. Just being a man and going through one in my early 30s, that was the hardest thing I went through in my life. But it showed me who I was and how I can maneuver. Now, I don't know if it's your first divorce or your, whatever. All I can tell you is it gets better. Life gets better. It gets shitty from time to time, and you always have those thoughts and, well, did I mess up, or what could I have done to make it better? And I'm gonna tell you, just keep going forward, because you never know what God's got for you tomorrow. You don't.
I'm in a much better place now than I probably have ever. After becoming sober, my whole mindset has changed, and that's part of the reason I asked for a divorce.
And and to be honest with you, I can't say whether you did the right thing or the wrong thing, but what I do know is that no one should allow anybody to compromise their sobriety.
For real.
That's their life that we're talking about.
For real.
So right. I'm gonna be straight with you. I commend you 100% for real. I mean, it is what it is. You have to do what's best for Dawn. I'm
gonna tell you, there's a lot of people that wouldn't have made that step. They wouldn't have been strong enough to be like, you know what? Enough is enough. It's time for me to walk away. They'd have just stayed in that toxicity because that's what they got used to.
And that's what I
So
did for many, many, many years. And I was determined I was not going to turn 50 and be miserable anymore.
Well, I know of someone, if I may be totally honest, I know of someone that is kind of going back a little bit over what some of the things that you said. The reason that I feel, this is just my own opinion, the reason that I feel it's important that you get yourself straight first, okay, is because of the fact that I personally could be looking at something totally wrong. So, you know, it's like it's giving me an opportunity to really reconnect to who I am, so I can be able to reconnect to who that person is. At the end of the day, if my feelings are true to whatever it is, if I know that I'm right in my whole being or whatever, and the therapist or whatever is talking to me and they're like, they really can't poke holes in that theory or in my thoughts or whatever the case may be, I won't even further anything. I will not go as far as, what do you call it? Couples therapy. Because at the end of the day, especially when you got a person, the reason I say it is more difficult for a man than it is for a woman. For a man, it is about your pride. It's about the fact that your woman is talking about saying goodbye. It's about the fact that you might be losing your kids to this woman. It's about the fact that you might be losing your home. You might be losing your money. You might be losing everything, right? So
that's where man comes from, because there's rarely an instance where the kids go with the man gets the money, the man gets the house. That's rare. Usually in a divorce, the man loses everything, unless he has a prenup, and that, in hell, going into a marriage talking about a prenup, that makes the person think you don't love them and that they're going to do something shady to you. So that puts a strain on the relationship. So, I mean, yes, it could be a pride thing. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's like, if that person is saying, well, no, they don't, you've heard it. Everybody's heard this. They don't know me. They don't know how I think. They don't know this. They don't know that. They may not even been through whatever. There's always some sort of excuse that's planning them against the therapy part. But at the end of the day, if they had given it a chance, they may have heard something that might have helped them with that partner. You get what I'm saying? I don't know, Stacey, what's your thoughts on that? Stacey? Oh, there you go.
I'm here. I'm going to piggyback off Anton when he said everybody has trauma from the last relationships. It's everybody brings some kind of baggage into a relationship, regardless good or bad.
Facts.
More so, people bring bad. It can be years and years with somebody, and then they get into a new relationship, and all they see is what that old person did to them. So they bring in the conflict, arguments.
That's because that person hasn't done anything to help themselves. If you're triggered by someone else's behavior to the point where you feel like you got to compare them to your last relationship, number one, you don't need to be in this relationship, in my honest opinion. Number two, you're not giving that person an opportunity. Fact. You know what I'm saying? And number three, you're not even giving yourself opportunity, because you already got the answer to what's going to happen, yet you don't even know this person.
Right.
I agree, because when you're in that kind of mind state, for real, you're not thinking about the person you're with. You're thinking about the person you was with. And even though people have similarities, which is fine, you know, but not everybody handles the situation the same way. Okay, so I'm big on zodiacs and things, and I'm religious. Okay, so there are certain. I'm a Taurus. I know other Tauruses. I know, we can be sensitive, we can be bullheaded, we can be lazy, we can be this, and this. As far as in a relationship, what I've noticed, me as being a older Taurus, and the Tauruses that I know that's in relationships, most of them are hoes, okay? And
the men or the women?
Both. Honestly, let's be honest. I'm not going to sit. I'm not going to sit here and just bash men, and I'm not going to sit here and just bash
He's
women.
not being judgmental right now.
I'm really not. You got to understand. I've been in the clubs.
You know what? People that go see, they're gonna be like, "Well, wait a minute, what is he talking about?"
I've been in clubs since I was 16. I've watched people maneuver. I've watched the way, I've watched relationships. I've watched some girl coming into the bar, take somebody home the next day in the same club with a different person. I've seen guys do it. I've watched a lot, and I study people. I don't know. I just feel like I was raised old school. I want that one person that is there for me, that is down for me, that hell or high water, whether we argue, we both go get into bed at the end of the night. We say we love each other. We go to sleep. We wake up and we work on it the next morning. Because it's not out there. It's so easy to get in a marriage. It's so hard to go through a divorce, but it's so easy to hop from relationship to relationship nowadays. I watched my grandparents argue every fucking day, every day. But if me, my cousins, my mom, her sister, her brothers tried to get in that argument, oh man, I wish you would. These old people would turn around and it would be like, well, y'all was just arguing with each other. Now, why are y'all coming at us? But
I think times have changed so much that everybody in this day and age jumps on getting divorced, ending the relationship. Whereas my parents were married 50 years. I never thought I'd be divorced. And, now I've learned that I am dating people, and I've learned I'm not going to settle for less this time. I know what I want. I know what gets on my nerves. And I know right off the bat whether it's going to work or it's not going to work. And I'm not going to settle for whoever just because I'm lonely or this and that. Like Gloria said, I've worked on myself. I'm now happy with myself. I work every day. I have my own house. I have my own car. I pay for everything on my own. I'm not looking. I did that whole jump from man to man to man. And now I've been by myself for a year. Does it get lonely? Yes, it definitely gets lonely. But I know what I want this time, and I'm going to wait around for it. And one day it'll come. If not, I'm happy being by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that leads me to my next question, ladies. What are y'all
Anton, before you go into that next question, would you mind if we take a couple minutes break?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Everybody will be back in about 3 minutes.
Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So before we went on break, I had a question for the ladies. So I got a couple. Okay, my first one is, what do y'all feel would be a good end goal in a relationship for y'all?
Far as what?
That's a loaded question.
Okay, so as far as how would you want your relationship to go? As far as do you want your man to pay 100% of the bills? Do you want him to be okay? So in the Bible, it says,
I'm thinking that'd be nice, but that ain't realistic.
Not at all. Not in this day and time. Hello. No.
Look at the
You gotta have money. If you're gonna take care of your wife, you better have the money to take care of your wife.
But then
because
again,
you're talking about household, everything.
I'd get bored at home,
Yeah. Don't you want her to? Sorry. Don't you want her to have her own?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, for me, my end goal for me is family. My end goal for me is marriage. My end goal for me is a healthy relationship that believes in 50-50. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand some people can carry the load on their own. And sometimes they got to carry the load if one person has fallen off and the other person needs to carry.
It happens.
It happens. It absolutely does. It happens a lot. But
Well, can I ask,
I'll,
we say how old everybody is? Only because she said family. So some people have a goal to have more children, whereas I'm older. So I was just wondering, are you older,
no.
or just the life that you already have?
I'm older, but I can still conceive if need be.
Okay.
But it's not. It doesn't have to be. I have an oldest one, and then my partner has the oldest one, and then together we're help raising my youngest.
Okay.
But it's not to where I can say, "Come on, babe, let's go have another baby," and we got two grown kids already out of the house, and then one that's can hit middle school in a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
So starting all over, I'll take a grandkid.
Okay, I got it.
I'll take a grandkid, that way I can give it back. But yes, my end goal is 50-50. I'm fine with 50-50. I'm fine with 80-20. It depends on the situation. Everybody has a different situation. Right now, some people can take on the whole load and be okay, and then other times it'd be like he or she can step in and help and take care of some things too. But you can't make it to where you gonna force somebody to say, I've been doing this all my life and I need a man to take care of me. I want to sit at home, be the housewife. I want to go shopping. I want to do the breakfast. I want you to pay all the bills and take me on these fancy trips. That only works for so many people. For me, I can take the trips, but I'd rather the trips be something we can both look forward to, not something I'm pushing on a person.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But that's just me.
Dawn.
I say 50-50. As my last relationship, I felt I did everything, and I think that's where I also was just at an end with that. I did the bills. He did help, maintaining the house and stuff when I went to work, but there's just a lot of other underlining things that is not 50-50. You might think it's 50-50, but it really isn't. You have to have somebody who wants to work with you, and I just try to think about all the things that he didn't do, and that might just be my perception of what I now am looking for in a man. For one, my bad thing that I do is I always pick younger men. And I guess that doesn't have to be
That's
bad.
not really
Okay. So
bad.
I guess it
I
doesn't
know.
have to be bad. Maybe that's judgmental and not the right words.
It's
Mm-hmm.
your
I know,
But
I
preference.
I
know, I
never.
know. A second ago, you just asked about age and everything, right? And you said, you didn't want to go into your 50s, feeling some type of way. So when you say younger man, like how much younger are you saying? Like in their 20s, in their early
That's
30s?
a little too. That's a little too young. But
I mean, okay,
but
because I don't know, because some men go through their change in their 50s and 60s, and they try to go and get 18 and 19-year-old
yeah,
women
I
now,
know. Yeah, I know. I mean,
and
I'm not saying
and
I know I could get somebody in your 20s, but that's a little even young, too young for me. But I don't know. I'm just attracted to the younger men, but I feel like I'm attracted to men who I wouldn't say have problems, but who I have to take care of. Maybe because I like to be in control, and that's I guess another issue is I'm set in my way. I'm set in my ways, so I
right.
like things done a certain way. And if it's not, then I would say maybe it's not 50-50, because if they don't do it my way, then I'm going to think I need to do it my way and do whatever needs to be done that they didn't do because they didn't do it my way.
I hope y'all don't take this the wrong way, but I think that's a woman thing. I think I
Let
think
me give you my thoughts on that, Anton.
okay.
All right, before you even go there, okay. So I truly believe in 50-50. Like, I don't believe in I don't believe in 60, 40, none of that, nothing off. I believe in 50-50. What I mean by that, I don't necessarily mean it has to be financially 50-50. What I am saying, though, is that I need 50% of your life interest in me, and I need to have 50% of my life interest in you. My thing is, it's like my job, my end goal is to find someone that honestly cares about the things that I do love and the things that I actually hate. I want
Okay.
someone to really respond. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah.
want to feel the same way about them. You know what I'm saying? I don't. My thing is, I want to accept the things that you've got that you enjoy. I want to enjoy those things. I want to learn to enjoy those things with you. But don't be mad at me if I don't.
But I
It
think
just
as
so
a woman,
happens we disagree on this particular situation.
I think as a
And
woman, we all need attention and affection,
I
and
think
the
both.
and I guess both
They
sexes need
do.
that. But you know, I would like a romantic man who shows me that he's in love with me, buys me, does things for no reason. It doesn't have to be big. Leave me a little note here, there. It could be small. I'm not very materialistic. Anything would do, but I would like to feel appreciated. Yes, but so would a man, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, when we speak, we got to think about how they would feel, because I just know that in my heart of hearts that I can't be selfish in the respect that it's really about me. I mean, I'm not saying that you are. Please don't take it that way. What I am saying though, is that I think it's about what the both of us want. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's called compromise. It's really all about compromisation. I mean, at the end of the day, I was thinking about even before the show got started. I was like, you know what? Communication. Everybody says communication. Well, there's several different types of communication. What communication is it that really is going to work for you? The yelling and the screaming, it doesn't work. The louder you scream, the less a person hears, believe it or not. Because
Facts.
now they're taking on an attitude towards that individual that's screaming at them. So whatever they're saying is no longer in their head. It's no longer in their ears. They're totally thinking about ways to fight this argument or to defend themselves. So at the end of the day, my only question is, why is it, as a people, as couples, can't we all just agree to actually be able to disagree? Not to agree to disagree, but agree to be able to disagree without the shouting, without the
Name
name
call.
callings or whatever the case. Why can't we just say, okay, time out.
That goes back to what Antoine said about communication and listening.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you got to give what you want out of a relationship. In my opinion, what you want is exactly what you need to give your partner. It just is. Because how is he going to know what you want if you're not giving him what you need? Does that make any sense?
So you say that. So let me tell you how I feel.
Yeah.
Okay, first you said that. So a lot of women want men to be mind readers. Well, you should know how I feel. You should know yada yada yada. Well, you didn't tell me anything. Well, because I'm your man and I've been with you, I'm supposed to just magically know you want something. That's where I say communication and comprehension. Now, each one of y'all said 50-50. Me personally, I don't believe it. And I'm going to tell you why. 50-50.
You don't believe in doing 50-50, or you don't believe that's what we want?
Let me finish. I'm going to tell you. I believe 50-50 in a relationship is bullshit. Because 50-50, that means you're half-assing it. Okay? And not only that, let's be honest, not one person on this panel right now is at 100% every day. Not one of us. Okay, so we can, how can you give 50% of anything, whether it's financial, mental, spiritual, physical, and you're not there every day? Nobody's perfect every day. Nobody's at 100% every day. Nobody. So there are going to be days when I'm at 80% and the love of my life is at 20. There's going to be a day where I'm at fucking 10% and I need somebody to hold me up, to hold me down, because I'm not at my best. So
I agree with that.
I think what I'm saying, though, what I mean by that 50-50, it's an overall thing. It's not about any one specific thing. I know that sometimes financially, let's just look at the financial aspect of everything. You know, that's always been that. I can honestly say that's one of the number one issues with people in their couples. That's a big thing with couples. So absolutely. My thing is right. So there are times. So what I meant overall 50-50. I'm giving 50% in this relationship. You're giving me 50% of the relationship. Putting it all together, we now have 100. So what I am, wait a minute. What I'm saying is financially, when it comes to finances or anything of that nature, when it comes to the house, when it comes to the children, yeah, I'm not going to always be 100%. I'm not. There's no way that person, my partner, is going to be 100%. So when I'm slacking or when I'm lacking, I need for you to be able to really be able to hold me up.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Even outside of financials, you're not going to be in the headspace every day to deal with this person's bullshit every day. You're not. There's going to be a day where he or she, whichever you're into, is going to come in and they're going to have a bad day. And sometimes you're not going to be equipped to deal with that. So to say, at that point, can you say you gave 50% that day? And I'm not talking about financially, because everybody has weak days, everybody. And as big as I am, as strong as I am, there's some days that I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do life. I don't.
That's where she holds you up.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Can she? That's what I'm saying. So my end goal is to have a woman that understands me, that understands my moods, because I'm a moody person. To really get to know me. Don't get to know the work me. Don't get to know the guy you've seen in the streets. Don't get to see the guy you've seen in the club. Get to know me. Get to know what I'm like at home. Get to know what I'm like when I'm on my up days, on my down days, on my super money days, on my broke days. Like, I heard a lot of people, and it's not just you three, that say, well, 50-50 this, 50-50 that. I just feel like, me personally, if I can't give 100% of myself, that's financially, that's being able to handle her mood swings, to be able to handle if she has kids, if just to give her 100% of me. I feel like I'm not doing enough, but I know there's a lot of guys that don't feel that way. I know.
If we're gonna look at it like that, then I'll say 100, and I'll say that because that's really what I'm thinking. The 50% meant like just putting it all together, equaling out to 100. But what I mean by that basically is 100. It's like you got to be
all in.
There.
You have to.
You got to be there. If you're God forbid, if your partner loses their job, or your partner is in a position where they could have had an accident, they could be physically disabled now. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to, if it's real about this relationship, you're gonna have to put your all into that.
because that's what I'm saying. Because there's a lot of people. Really in that kind of situation, there's a lot of people nowadays that'll walk away and leave that person in that position. And that's sad. That's sad. That goes to show me if me in the love of my life are going through things, and Lord forbid she goes out, gets in an accident, and she loses her legs. And now she can't do the thing she did a week ago. I'm not going to leave her in that position. I'm going to take care of her. I'm going to be her personal nurse. I'm going to do what I have to do to get every bill paid because first and foremost, you got to think this person's mental is going to be messed up behind what they just went through. But like we said earlier, people are walking away from people and leaving them for dead for real. And it's sick. It's sick.
I think there are people who are not really in love, because you're saying about taking care of a person. I think if you're really, really in love,
and if that's the case, then why are you with the person?
Wait a minute, hold on. What'd you say, Dawn?
I said if you're really, really in love, not infatuated a person, not with a person for the wrong reasons, then I think you would do that for that person because you want, to help them or spend the rest of your life with them or whatever it may be, but you're in it for the right reason.
Agree. I agree with that. I mean, the thing of it is, it's like, but I hear you, Anton, and you're right. I see that, that might be who you are, but I'll be totally honest with you. There's a lot of cats out there that aren't in that same mind space that you're in. They will walk. They walk just because. You know what I'm saying? So why wouldn't they walk if you lost a limb or if you're unable to perform anymore or if you know what I'm saying? Or something, maybe you stroked out and you can't talk or you're not verbal anymore. You know what I'm saying? There are men out there aside from yourself.
It takes a while to get to that point. I mean, how are you going to know that you get injured or you're in the hospital or you have
You're
cancer?
Not going to know.
How are you going to know that person's going to stay with you?
You don't know.
It could take many, many years to get to that point where you trust that person enough to know that for me, I don't even know how do you know anymore someone's actually in love with you?
Right. Well, think about it. If you're hurting, if you're in that particular position, right? Okay. It really is not going to matter whether you're worried about whether they're going to stay with you or not. They either are or they're not. The question is, how are you going to handle it if they choose not to? That's really, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I hear you saying that, a lot of people don't think, but I know a lot of people who do. I know people who went through things, and instead of them caring about their physical or their mental health, they're worried about what this person is out doing instead of getting their self together, which is mind blowing. But I mean,
you mean like if a person's hurt or injured in some way that they can't. So, but I agree. I know that they are out there. I mean, I know that there are good men out there, good women out there. I get that. But what I'm saying is you're not going to know what you're
until you go through it.
Until you go through it. There's no way you can predict it. You can be with somebody 18,000 years, all jokes aside. And one thing has to change about you. One thing that they may no longer be attracted to, or one thing maybe became unattracted to them. Doesn't matter how long you with them. They can still.
Okay. So let me ask this. Okay. So we're all over 40. Okay. We're just going to leave it at that. I'm in a relationship. Stacey's in a relationship. I'm assuming Gloria and Dawn, y'all are single right now, right? Okay. So
why are you winking, Gloria?
Because I'm in a relationship with someone.
Oh, well.
I mean,
Okay.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Okay. So the question is, can you be in a relationship with somebody and not have sex?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say yes. I'm not even in one, and I'd say yes.
Yeah.
now, when I say that, I'm talking about if the man has erectile dysfunction, because I was watching some clips the other day, and I was listening to these women talk, and a majority of them was like, if there's no sex, there's no relationship.
There's so many options out there today.
I'm just saying.
I mean,
if it's about that. Hold on. Can I say something? Excuse me. Here we go. if you're under the age of 18, you're not allowed to look at this video. But
Leave the
let me just
room.
say this. Hold on. Let me say this. Okay. You're right, Dawn. Because for real, you can still give me that loving. You can still kiss on me. You can still do whatever, but I can handle myself.
Oh, okay.
If
So
you really, because you're not going to be, what are you going to be? If you are impotent, if you have erectile dysfunction, whatever, you know that's not going to work. So I'm gonna if I'm all about wanting to get off on something, right? If I'm in that position where I really want to feel loved in that way, we're gonna have to compromise.
I think in my younger days, I would have gave a different answer.
Yeah,
but
my younger days.
Now, being older, that I mean, if I have love and affection and
that's all,
you know, touch and everything else, that is not.
I don't
that
need
important.
nothing.
I mean, it's important, but not important. Like I
okay,
would not be with a man because of that.
Yeah, it doesn't define my marriage.
So okay, so with that being said, even though he doesn't work, you telling me now? I don't know what you meant by compromise, but there are other things men can do to get a woman there.
I'm talking about sex. We're gonna have to compromise. If you are incapable of having sex with me, that sort of like where sexual intercourse. If you are incapable of having sexual intercourse with me, I don't want my partner to feel like that's all you mean. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want him to feel that I want to walk away or I'm going to I'm going to go out and cheat. There are other, what I mean by compromising. Okay, you can't do what you would love to do, and I get it, but you can do things for me. You can do things. Okay, it is what it is. You can do things.
Absolutely.
Whether it's a kiss, a smooch, or whatever, you can do things. So that's why I'm saying, like, yeah, I mean, why not stay with them?
I think it's more so.
This is the older Glow talking. This is not Glow 1920.
That's
Glow
what I was
1920 would have looked at you like you were crazy.
Oh Lord. I think it's more so somebody has to know that person. If y'all have that bond, that relationship, that connection, I don't think
nothing's gonna change it.
Nothing's gonna change that person. Like, you gonna love that person. You gonna figure out what spots makes that person go. How you touch her or him makes that person go. If he just want to be held, if she just want to be held, if she just want to be caressed or kissed on, just laid up with, you got to know that relationship and that person. Now, nowadays, no, you tell somebody that's in their 30s, 20s, oh, I can't get it. They're gonna go somewhere else and get it from somebody else.
I would have been that person, is what I'm saying.
Dating,
if I were in my
dating
teens,
wise, if somebody after you dated somebody, and they said that, I probably wouldn't stay with them.
Huh? Say that one more time, Dawn.
I was saying, if I was dating somebody, just dating, and not necessarily maybe in a relationship, and that came about, then I honestly probably would at that point be gone.
You talking about right now, right?
No, before.
Yeah, if I was dating somebody right now, maybe not in an actual relationship, and they said to me, hey, I'm impotent or I can't perform or whatever, then I probably would somehow make an excuse to cut that off, just saying.
So what if there was other ways for him to get you where you needed to be outside of that? So you wouldn't even think about it. Like you said, you just cut it off, right?
Probably, yes.
I respect that. That's
if it happened down the road and I was already with somebody and, you know, things happened or whatever, problems happen, then that's a different story. But dating or not in a relationship or just beginning, then I probably wouldn't go any farther.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not just saying. That's just me.
No, I get it. No, I don't want you to feel any kind of way, because I mean, honestly, if I were to meet someone, let's say I go out the door here and I met Donald, whoever that is. Say I met a Donald, you know what I'm saying? And
you went after the Trump, huh?
I'm like, Donald, we need to do what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? Well,
Right.
Donald gonna look at me and go, I can't do that. Why can't you do that? Well, I can't, perform. I have a feeling.
Okay, but are you thinking about what led to that? It could have been an accident. It could have been something to do with their health. It could have.
Only if I first meet you.
Say what?
If I first meet you, let's say I wanted to have a one night stand. I want, I'm attracted to somebody. Let me finish. Hold up. Is this called raw and uncut or what? Let's say
go for it. Yeah.
I'm being honest here. So if I'm just meeting you, okay, God, this is gonna probably give me a lot of haters, and I'm sorry, but I'm being so honest. If I am just meeting you and we haven't really invested anything into this relationship, and you tell me I'm ready and you're not ready to get it because you can't get it, I'm going to ask you what's going on, why, what was discovered to make that happen. But at the end of the day, I have to make a decision that's best for me. Do I really want to stick with someone whom I just met that can't do that for me? Now, again, yeah, other things can go into play, and I get that, but I just met you. Now, if I've been with you and you are everything to me, you're my heart, my soul, my everything, trust and believe, I don't give a damn if I never get to feel that again. As long as I get to feel you, you feel me, we can work everything out. We can make this work. That's all I'm saying. So I don't have it. That's what I mean. But in my younger days, oh God.
So, but Antoine, if it was reversed and a woman said to you, I mean, I can't really think of a woman not being
they can't. That's what I'm saying. So,
but because if she said she would never, ever, ever, maybe her religion or something where she could never, ever have sex, just out of the question, would you be with that woman?
Okay, so let me break that down for you, because
look at Stacy.
There's no religion where a woman will say she can't have sex. The only way they say they will not have sex is until they get married. Okay, so knowing that going into dating someone, okay, and I'm gonna say this because y'all can say, well, if a man tells me from day one that he can't have physical sex, that I'll be done with it. A man can't do that.
What?
So that's an impossible answer, because a woman can have sex the rest of her life, whether she uses lube or anything. A man at a certain point in his life either has to take pills, get shots, or something else, unless his physical health and his mental health is on par. Hell, let's be honest, at the age of 60, it's blue pills and out. Okay. It is. I mean, that's facts.
Okay.
I mean,
for some, yeah, it is. It really is.
It really is. It really is. Hell, there's commercials on TV every day. You don't see commercials on TV talking about, hey, women pop this pill and you get wet as a waterfall. You don't.
No, you just find soaps.
Scream, right. And so a woman can wake up. Any one of y'all can wake up and be like, you know what? I'm going to go have sex today. And 10 times out of 10, you'll have that, whether it's a male, whether it's a female, whether it's a shim, him, or them. Okay. A man will wake up and be like, you know what? I want to have sex today, but unless a woman allows that to happen, it's not going to happen. It's not. Women are the gatekeepers. Men might have the key, But if that woman doesn't want to open that gate, it's a wrap.
But
It's a wrap.
unrealistically speaking, if a woman could never have sex again, would you be with her?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So again, because a lot of people are going to watch this, and a lot of men are not going to agree with me. I'm different. Okay. Like I said, I want my person. I want my person. I've been on this earth for 44 years, and I've been with some characters. And I want that person, whether she can have sex or not. That is my backbone, my ride or die. Like and the relationship I'm in right now is the best one I've been in ever. Absolutely. Hands down. We have our days. We don't always see eye to eye, but I'm not going to say we don't go to sleep angry. We don't go to sleep without each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I found somebody who is willing to work with me as well as I'm willing to work with them. And I've never known this kind of relationship. And it's sad to me because I've known this person since I was like 15 years old. And now we just been together maybe the last 3 years. Okay. I feel like there was a lot of time wasted because we had a connection then, but I didn't pull the trigger or really go after her because me and her brother was cool and he told me to stay away from her. So I respected that. I wish I had now, because I feel like a lot of the bullshit I went through growing up, had I went through it with her, I think we'd have still been together. I mean, we've always kept in contact and everything, but I know all of her darkest secrets. I was there. I was the one who helped her through them. She knows all of mine. When I had women trouble, she's the one I went to. She was the one I called and was like, "Hey, this bitch is tripping. I need help. What do I do?" And she gave me the real. You know, so it came a point in life. You know, she's been my best friend. She's been my back. She's been my front. And if I never got to touch her sexually, I would still be with her. Yes.
Okay. Right. Well, I mean, the thing of it is, you know, I think is, notice I use that word, I think, is my forever person. Whether we get married or not, I really will always believe that was my forever person. You know, when you match each other spiritually, you know what I'm saying? You just know it's something about it. But at the end of the day, I said the same thing about my ex-husband, and I was there for 21 years, and it ended up in the worst way.
Now, what do you mean you said the same thing about your ex-husband? Like he was your best friend or whatever?
He was my best friend.
Okay.
We matched each other on a spiritual level. But once you get married, I'm just saying, this was my case. Once the marriage was there, I recognized how. God, I didn't say because you kind of recognize that things are not as they seem. So I guess what I mean is like, but this one now that I particularly, you know, we just reconnected because it was a miscommunication on our part. However, right. Yeah. But look, you can't communicate when there's no communication. You know what I'm saying? You can't talk. Right. So, but the thing of it is, then I found out something else had happened. And so my thing is, it's like we've recently reconnected. And so that question that you asked about losing, well, we talk about losing limbs and all that other kind of stuff. It comes to a point where you're like, you really are truly in love. And if you are truly in love with that person, it don't even matter. None of that stuff matters. None of that matters.
You're right.
You know what? You're so preoccupied by being so thankful that person's still within your space. You know what I'm saying? Still a part of your life. They could have gone. Anything could have happened. But the love that you have, I feel that it has to be so great. And that's what I'm saying with this individual. I know how I feel. It's just that great that if I never, ever get to touch him in that manner, so be it.
Right.
The fact is, I really like the person.
You're glowing.
Huh?
She is glowing.
That's the screen. But anyway, no,
no, it's you.
Like I really, really like when I saw him again for the first time.
Did you get the butterflies?
Man, the first thing I did, I ran over. Look, I kid you not.
He dropped the phone.
I can't believe we telling my story. He was late. He was late. Bless his little. So it was okay. So when I saw him, I just looked at him, and I just ran up to him. I ran to him, and I immediately
jumped on him.
No, we don't want to jump on him right now. But I went ahead and I immediately. God, I can't believe I'm doing. I immediately kissed him, and it was like.
It felt like home.
It was right. It was
right. Exactly.
He want to get in the bed with me. I'm looking at him laughing like, no, this ain't the time for me to be hopping in bed with you. You know, that sort of thing. But you get what I'm saying. It's like the love.
It was natural.
It was like, oh my God. And then to look at his eye. Wait a minute. I'm tripping. Y'all go on with the conversation about something else. Go ahead.
Okay. So here's another one. Does marriage have to be y'all end goal?
No.
I don't ever want to do it again.
I know, that's what I was going to say.
I guess it depends on the relationship and if both parties are doing that. Yeah. For me, I just got out of a 17-year relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Circumstances happened. We was engaged, but it was always something to stop it. Whether it be his kids, finances, it wasn't the right time. Something always came in the way to stop that goal. But I think if you get that person that you know you want to see that end goal with, and that person wants that end goal again, whether it's, well, I don't want to wait 17 years again, but.
Oh, you won't.
If that person has that same mind frame you have, and they want the same end goal that you want to, then yes, I see marriage. But I also see, again, counseling or making sure we on the same path when we get down the aisle. Making sure whether it's finances, kids, everything has to be in order. Because if it's not in order and you see something collapsing, somebody's going to run. Mm-hmm. Or it's not so running, it's so much as finding excuses. Oh, we don't have this yet. I can't do it because this person don't agree with our marriage. You got to make sure y'all circle. You and that person is in that circle. Because if you and that person's in a circle and you got his mama, her mama, his kids, his baby mama, they baby daddy, everybody can't be in that circle. You got to know that who you marrying is who you marrying, and that bubble is y'all bubble.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I have to agree. I've often told my sons, and I love my babies. They're my babies. They try to be funny. I know that they're joking. I hope they're joking. But at the same time, it's like it comes to a point that if you keep on making excuses, it'll never happen. It'll
Fact.
never happen. You know what I'm saying? So either you're in it to win it, or you walk, because you're wasting each other's time now. You know what I'm saying? If that one person wants to get married and the other person doesn't, now you're starting to waste people's time, because it's like, what's the point? Now, for me, I will say, if I have to jump on the answer right now, the answer is no. I would never get married again. However, there is a however.
Okay, because I was about to ask.
However, there's a great possibility that I would be interested in marrying said person if it came down to it. God,
so okay, so my question to you, Glow, is you don't want to go through the marriage stuff again, which is fine. I mean, I understand it. You know, me and you, we have a lot of conversations. We talk about religion and stuff, right? And now you have connected with this person again, and like said suitor, I don't know what he's going through. I don't know what you're going through. He comes to you one day and he was like, look, you know, we've wasted enough time. Let's run to the courthouse, get married. Does it have to be a big wedding, or do you feel like you have it in you to just go and get the marriage?
I don't need a big wedding.
Okay.
I mean, excuse me, but that's superficial bullshit to me.
Materialistic.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with this marriage. All you're doing is displaying for everyone else to see.
Facts.
As far as I'm concerned, I would love. That's not a problem for me to go to a, what do you call it? Justice of Peace or somebody like that, you know, to get married or whatever. It's not that's a celebration between he and I. You know, other people will witness it as we are together. So
but I feel like, what is that piece of paper, really? It's a piece of paper. That's how I see it. I don't think, again, I would ever get married again, because it's a piece of paper. Everything that, the only document it is something for the courts.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you feel like you feel this way because of what you're going through now? Or do you feel like, I know this is hard to ask, but like, do you feel like in the next 3 years it'll change? Do you feel like, you know, because life is not over and you're going to keep going forward, do you feel like when that person comes along and he's like, hey, you know, I know you went through what you went through, but I'm not him. I'm not that person. I want to walk down the aisle with you. You're going to tell him no? Like, do you
think it's a piece of paper? I've learned that I want to keep everything separate. I'm going through fighting for my house. I'm, fighting for all this. I want everything. I want everything to remain separate. Being married is just a piece of paper. You can still live together, act like you're married. What really is that piece of paper? To like Gloria said about a wedding, is that piece of paper just to show everybody, hey, let me take on this person's last name? I mean, what really is being married?
Let me put it without putting everything out there. The 17 years that I was in, he tragically passed away. We had a daughter together. He also had a house and other things that was in his name, not legally married. I took on all his debt. I took on all his finances without even knowing any of it. Any piece of paper, none of that, because I had his kid. We was living inside of the same household. We was splitting these bills. I'm not going to give somebody a house that I didn't put money into.
Right.
I'm not ready to give that up.
Right.
So going down to the courthouse and being over his estate and taking care of all the bills and all that. That's the issue I have. If I get married, I want that person to be okay without having to fight for something, and for anybody else to have to fight him for it. That's the reason why I want to get married. I don't want to leave somebody with all my debt and all my issues.
The sad part about it, though, Stacey, is we do.
We do.
No matter how much we don't want that to be.
It's either your husband is going to be your kids, but let it be
somebody you're dating.
Let it be somebody you're dating, and that's a whole different problem. Because you fighting everybody for something that you and that person work for.
Yep.
Because y'all wasn't married, he can have kids, older kids, outside of the kids you have. And they can want everything that you have. Because y'all was not married. You're not legally bound to have anything in that person's name.
Let me ask you a question.
Because y'all wasn't married.
To a will?
I said, they don't have a will. Same person don't have a will.
Okay, so let me chime in on this. Unfortunately, a lot of Black people don't have wills and things like that. Insurance, life insurance, death insurance.
Right.
It's a bad thing in our community because, you know, these legal contracts do come into play. I've watched people go through, like she said, going through things like that, and it's heartbreaking. I know you say marriage is just a piece of paper. It's not. It's a covenant, and it does protect you. It does protect people in times like of what she's saying. Yes, it gets down and dirty when you're going through divorce, but nobody goes into marriage thinking about divorce, because if they did, you know, you wouldn't. You really wouldn't. You can cover yourself with a prenup, but like I said, you bring that up, and 9 times out of 10, the person you're bringing it up to doesn't look at what you went through in your last divorce or whatever, because the girl I'm with now has never been married. Okay. So the stuff I lost in my marriage, she doesn't understand. If I ask her for a prenup, not that I'm saying I'm a millionaire right now, and not saying that anything that I have I don't want her to have, but it's you have to cover yourself legally. You have to. And it's wild.
I don't even. I really wish. Yeah, go keep talking. I'm gonna look up something real quick. Go ahead, keep talking.
Okay. To me, with my religious beliefs, you know, I don't want to shack up for the rest of my life with just one person. I don't want to die and leave here and God said, well, I gave you your person. You picked these other people to be with. It didn't work out, but now you're taking away the option of having a good and healthy relationship, because I've been through enough toxic. I've been through enough hell, and now that I have something that's actually good, why wouldn't I give that person what I gave to the toxic person? Like I can't say I'll never get married again, because I want to get married. I do. I'm not going to say I want to get married. I'm going to get married again. I am. I want to give this person everything I gave to the bad person. And I'm not perfect by no means. I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, I'm an angel. I'm not. I got my own demons. I got my own skeletons in the closet. She knows them. But I'm going to give her the best of me. And I'm praying she gives me the best of her. So for this to be her first marriage, if she wants a big wedding, I'm going to give her that. If she doesn't want that and she wants to go down to the Hall of Justice and just get married and call it a day, I'm going to give her that.
I mean, I understand that. I mean, My thing is, regardless of whether it's her first or not her first marriage,
It'll be her last. I'll tell you that.
well, it might be, but what I am saying though is that, you know, I'm saying for myself personally, justice of peace versus a marriage, what do you call it? A ceremony. That's just.
But you've already went through the ceremony, right?
I went through both, actually. This is my third. If I decide to get married again, this will be number 3. The first one didn't last. It was really like a boyfriend, girlfriend. Let's just go ahead and get married type deal. But the second one was real. That one there was 21 years. So
okay, so which one was the ceremony?
The second one was the ceremony.
Okay, so that's already out of your system.
Not necessarily. What I'm saying is, let's say that he wants a large wedding.
Would this be his first?
He wants it. Maybe I will do it because he wants it.
Okay. So like Stacey said, is this his first?
Mm-mm. Nope.
Okay, so let's all be honest. 9 times out of 10, the wedding is for the woman, the bridezilla.
Yes, absolutely.
9 times out of 10, a man don't get a say so.
That's what I'm talking about. Communication. That's what the communicating is about. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not about doing it because of whatever reasons. It's the fact that if your significant other says, you know, look, I want to celebrate you in front of the whole world.
Yes.
I'm down. Okay. Regardless, yes. I'm down.
So, you better say it, Glow.
That same, again, huh?
I said, you better say it.
You know, but if they tell me, Glow, look, the only people that are really important to me are the people like this, that, and the third that I want to be there. Aside from that, that's all that really matters. It's just being with you. Boom. I can accept that too. So at the end of the day, like I say, it's not off limits. It's not, for me, I think of it as a ceremony. It's a ceremony. But to him, it may be the world. So if it's the world, guess what? It became the world for me too.
Absolutely.
You know, so if a person doesn't want, I will be honest with you, Dawn. I bull crap you not. After my divorce, I promised myself I would never, ever allow myself to fall for anyone again. We all do that. We all say that shit.
I swear to God.
I promise you. I ain't ever getting married. Fuck a marriage. I ain't.
Yeah. I was there.
It ain't gotta be a marriage. You can be in a relationship.
Huh?
It ain't gotta be a marriage. You can be in a relationship.
But the thing of it, because I was also looking at the law, you know, Virginia does not support common law marriages, just saying. So everybody understand that Virginia does not support common law marriages. Do you know what this means? What this means is if you've been together for more than 7 years and it don't work out, you walk out with exactly what you came in with. That's bottom line.
Right. So, where I live at, same thing.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, but then the reason I was listen, I got this question that's been burning. What do you all feel about a woman that was married to a person, and that person ended up terminally ill? They found out they were terminally ill. Mind you, they had already gotten a divorce, but that person forgot to take them off of the freaking certificate, the freaking benefit. They forgot to take them off the benefit because they were going through their own medical issue alone. And the family needed to bury that person. But
the money went to the old spouse.
The money. So what y'all think about that?
I have seen that. I have watched that before, to where the person still married, but still doing their own thing because their wife or significant other was in a different state. They found out they passed away. They come down, take care of everything, leave out like nothing happened, and the girlfriend is still sitting here like,
Okay, so
what the
this
heck happened?
person didn't take care of Jack. The family took care of everything.
Just
So
took the money and left.
when they went to, this is what happened. When they went to the funeral home to get the death certificate, they couldn't get it.
But she has
They got a
control of
copy of it. They got the original. She got the original because
it.
she went down there basically falsely stating that she was still, listen, she's not married to him anymore. She wasn't married to him anymore. He died.
But I think that's just based on that person. I mean, not everybody. It's individual, I think.
I'm saying,
some
what
people
do you
would
all
never
think
do
about
that.
It? Yeah, what are your thoughts about that? What do you all feel? Because some people say,
terrible.
hey, you deserve it. You went through whatever when you were married. You deserve it. Because a lot of people may have gone through trauma while they were married, and they felt like they deserve whatever. So do you think that that's cool? Do you think that that's a good thing? You're divorced. You're already divorced. You've moved on. So have they. They were sick. So they didn't have a chance to get you off of their stuff. You think that's right?
I don't know.
It's a legally bound document. You really can't do too much about it. I mean,
you're right. It's a legally bound document that you're divorced. You're not married anymore.
But if you have paperwork that says you are entitled to my benefits,
right? That person didn't get rid of them in time before their death to do all that. But the thing of it is, what I'm saying is, morally speaking,
if it was
why
me,
would you do that? Is my question. Why would you take away from the family?
Children?
Yeah.
How much money?
Yeah.
It has to all rely about how
that
much
person
money.
had
Does
children, young children.
I mean, for me, depending on how much money it was, this and this and that, I would give, do the funeral or whatever expenses that is, dispense some to the children, and I probably would keep some.
That person did not even go to the funeral.
She probably, whoever the person was, they was probably so fed up with the issue. I think it was more so. Okay, I don't know the situation at all, but it's just me and my thoughts. If a person was divorced, they tragically passed, they were still on the paperwork but didn't do anything for the kids, the family. It was more so about them. It wasn't about the person that passed away. It wasn't about the kids he had. It wasn't about his mother if they were still alive. It was more so, well, you divorced me for whatever reason, and now you forgot to do the paperwork. Now I got everything.
Okay, so let me ask a question because I'm trying to get some a general concept. They got divorced. They're no longer together. They both moved on. So you went through the divorce. You went through the paperwork and everything, but you didn't go through the paperwork to take them off of your beneficiary. There's a reason for that.
Well, because they were sick. They had been sick before the marriage was over.
So
they were medically ill before the marriage was over. The marriage, it was a tumultuous marriage. It was a bad marriage. It was a violent marriage. Okay, a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Y'all know, toxic. It was a toxic marriage. But I guess where I am, and maybe this is just me, and maybe I'm wrong for feeling this way. I feel like when you take away from a man's children that had cancer, that child had nothing to do with it. That child has nothing to do with your marriage, nothing like that. When you take away from the children, that you tell me, how is that right? For me,
I don't believe in no case that it's right. Okay, I don't believe that it's right at all. Even being sick, we all know there's things we have to accomplish, even being sick, even being bedridden. We know we can't just leave everything up to chance, okay? And if the person, for one, is divorcing you while you're in that kind of state, you have to make sure your paperwork is together. Because if I catch COVID right now and I'm laying in the bed and none of my affairs is in order, and I even have the thought that I might check out, I have to make sure my son is okay when I leave here. So no matter how bad I feel, no matter what it is, until my dying breath, I have to make sure that's taken care of. If I'm able to go through a divorce and make sure that's finalized before I go, even though I'm sick, why wouldn't I get all of my paperwork taken care of? That's.
I mean, if you're sick, I hear you, Anton, and I understand where you're coming from, but for me, I guess that's where I draw the line at, because it's like, I'm sorry. That's just like me going after my ex-husband's money.
Okay.
I wouldn't. Wait a minute. Listen. That's like me going after my ex-husband's money. God forbid anything happens to him. Seriously. Who am I? I'm nobody to him now. The only people that mean anything to him are his children and whoever else he got associated with him. I have nothing to do with nothing. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I'm like, if I take that money, first of all, I'm taking the money from your children. I mean, I guess that's the biggest thing for me. I'm taking the money out of your children, away from your kids. Something that probably could have helped them go to college, something that could have probably helped them maybe buy a house later on. Who knows? But at the end of the day, if you are that sick, sometimes life happens and you don't have a chance to go and change paperwork. You probably didn't. This, from what I'm understanding, he didn't even know that he could have been that sick until he went. When he first went to the doctor, he was already stage 4. But he was violently ill then. So you're not going to be in the right frame of mind thinking, oh, I'm going to get a divorce in a few months. You're not thinking that. You're thinking, oh my God, my life is almost over. You know what I'm saying? You really are. You're struggling with that. So that's what your mindset is. You're not thinking about the future. You're not thinking about who gets what. You're not thinking about any of that. You're thinking about life preservation now. That's what you're thinking about. So at the end of the day, if you love someone, if you really love someone and you're in that relationship with that someone, you don't take. You just don't take.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. She's wrong by all means, okay?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, when he went through the divorce, even being sick, how long after that did he pass? A week, 2?
Probably a couple months. He went into the hospital, right? Hold on. He went into the hospital directly after that. And she was there the whole time. And this was one of the first times he went into the hospital. She was there the whole time. He was not in his right mind. I know that man didn't think that he was going to end up in a divorce. But she did. She divorced him. She had all that going on behind his back.
So then it sounds like a setup. It sounds like she knew he was sick. She knew he was about to pass. She went ahead and divorced him. That way, when he passed, nothing fell on her. She didn't say nothing about her being the beneficiary. He died. She got the money. She dipped out. She knew what she was doing.
That's it. That was the question. What do you all think about a person that does that to someone?
That's terrible.
She's a shit ass person, and she's going to burn in hell. I mean, I'm gonna say this. I've watched a lot of things happen in life. Nobody on this earth gets away unpunished. Nobody. Everything you do to somebody, whether you think you got away with it or not, everything will come back to bite you in your ass. I'm telling you.
Her name is Karma. Karma.
It is.
That's her
name. And when she comes back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just, it's like, we talk about relationship goals and you look at it, you're like, was that the goal?
I don't think anybody has a goal of seeing. Well, she could have been a gold digger, but
Well, exactly, because I was going to say that because there are women out here that'll marry an old man, a old millionaire, give him some of that good and kill him out with a heart attack. And Anna Nicole Smith.
Did I tell y'all I know somebody that actually did
People
that?
tell me that all the time. Why don't I date a sugar daddy? I'm even old, but date a sugar daddy and just use him for his money. They tell me that all the time.
Whoa. 50 is not old. Don't do that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
People tell me all the time to use people or use older men for money, but I just can't do it.
Okay,
I'm just curious. Why can't you do it? If you're not interested in finding a relationship or really being involved with someone,
because I'm just not attracted. I very rarely have found an older man that I'm attracted to. So that's why I can't do it. I still have to be attracted to him.
Well, that's the first thing that happens when you meet someone. Either you're attracted to him or you're not.
Okay, so now what do you consider old though?
To me,
over 40, over 45, over 50.
Well, since I told my age, I would say 55 to me is old. Sometimes older than me is old because they just look old. If you look old, then I'm not attracted.
Okay.
Without mentioning anything, I tend to get some free stuff from an older man that I have yet to go on a date with, that everyone is bothering me about because I'm just not attracted to him. But eventually I'm going to have to go on this date.
So wait, are you taking the free stuff?
Yes.
But why will you have to go on a date?
I won't get any more free stuff.
I'm with
name out there.
Well,
it's not like a bunch of money kind of stuff. It's a little petty food that I get.
Dawn. Bring you a meal every once in a while.
Yes, exactly. And I feed everybody.
Dawn.
Yes.
Dawn.
Yes.
I got someone for you. Reason I say that is listen, someone hit me up in my DMs on TikTok. Offered me $5,000.
To do what?
Nothing comes for free.
Wait.
Nothing comes for free now. If he's offering up 5 bands, he wants something.
No sex involved, none of
that,
right?
Even if I got offered money, if they're not attractive, I've been offered money. I've been offered money to show my boobs. I've been offered money. I got money for showing my feet to people. And I did take that money. I was in a bad situation, so I did take that money. I'm not gonna lie. However, just to go on a date or something, I have to be attracted to that person.
Okay, I got a question, Mr. Scott.
Okay. Yeah.
Would you accept gifts from a female that is wanting you to be her sugar baby?
Single or in a relationship?
But you in a relationship?
Nope. Hell no.
Oh yeah, if you're in a relationship, I wouldn't.
Absolutely not. Because I'm gonna tell you something that opens Pandora's box. Okay, so if that means that was going to lead to my next question. Okay, what do y'all consider cheating? Okay, because to me, if I'm conversating with this woman's giving me gifts, and I'm in a relationship, I'm giving this woman some part of me, even though it's not sexually, I'm giving her time, attention, something where she's giving me these gifts. And I'm in a relationship with somebody else, why would I give her the time of day to even allow me to get these gifts? First and foremost, I'm not a materialistic person, and she can't give me nothing my woman at home can't give me. And why would I go out for White Castles when I got steak and potatoes at home?
Because you got men that are out there that are not satisfied with what they have at home. You are. But Anton,
Exactly.
see,
And them are the men.
you are.
Them are the
But those
men
there,
that you see, oh, I messed up, baby. Will you take me back? I'm sorry. And then they mess up again.
okay.
Forget my
So
language.
you got
Them are
some
sorry
men
ass
out
niggas.
there. Hold on. You got some men that are out there, right? That are
Sorry.
sexual deviants. I mean, I'm gonna put it out there. That's what they are. Because it's like, if you can't get it at home, then you're obviously gonna go out. You're gonna try to get it out there on the streets, right?
Well, yeah. Okay. That's cool and all, because yes, if I'm not getting satisfied at home, all I'm doing is arguing, fussing and fighting. I'm not getting sex. Um, I'm not being appreciated as a man. I'm not um, being fulfilled at home, and somebody else is giving you that attention. The
No,
right
you
thing.
adding to it. You adding to it.
The,
No, no,
the,
no.
what?
Huh?
What am I adding?
No, no. I said I think you added to it. You said they're not. What did you say? What was the end part?
And somebody outside of the house is trying to give me attention.
Okay. I thought it was. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so again, I'm built different. I've been through a lot. I've been in relationships where I wasn't getting attention at home. Um, I wasn't getting satisfied the way I felt like I wanted to be. And yes, I know there are ladies that out there that will do anything. I'm a fighter. I fight for what I believe in. I fight for the person I love and whatnot. And until I feel like I'm loyal to a fault, and I've stayed in relationships too long, and I know that. Um, I've had people tell me, just leave, just go ahead and leave. It's not worth being there. But until I've had enough, I guess, abuse, I stay.
Why not just
That's
walk
what I
away,
did.
though? If you found that you got to do all that, why not just walk away?
It's not easy for everybody to just walk away,
Yeah,
especially if it's right. Especially if you done put in over 4 or 5 years just to walk away. A lot of people can't do that.
and you
Until
created a whole, lifestyle.
right,
That's how I
right,
was. But in the end,
right.
we're talking about goals. The goals that I had were not the goals that he had. And I asked him over and over again, why don't we work on your goals? Why don't you do this? Why don't you try to better yourself? Why don't you try to get a different position at your job? He did not want to do any of that. He was stuck where he was and happy where he was, and I was not.
Well, okay, so it was different for me because I've always tried to reach my goals, but the person I was with didn't have any ambition, didn't have any goals themselves, like you said, and it was okay. Well, now I don't have enough time to spend with you because I'm trying to get myself better. So now that's a problem. So I give up on my goals to spend more time with you. Now I'm not doing enough for the household. So it was always a problem. Something was always a problem. The relationship I'm in now, that's what I'm saying. She puts the coals on my fire. Yes, baby, go get that. Yeah, go for your dreams. Go handle your business. Go do the work you have to do to make sure 6 months down the line we're okay. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to find a person that's willing to sacrifice with you to make sure you're okay. Because at the end of the day, if I'm willing to give, okay, I'm simple. All I need is my woman, some good to eat, a comic book to read, and pretty much that's it. I'm simple. Now I know there's women that like to shop and spend all kinds of money, and that's their thing, which is fine. Um, Me and
Stacy
Glow's
got
been
something she
sitting.
want to say. Stacy want to say something.
No, I was talking about the person that likes to spend money. It's me.
Oh,
That's me. I'm a shopaholic.
We all love to spend money. Hold on, you
No,
guys. You mind?
no, we all do not like to spend money. Okay.
No, I'm talking about women, not men, women. But listen, we gotta
You
take a
can
quick
find men that
break.
like to shop.
Huh?
There are men that like to shop just as much as women do.
Oh, yeah, my kids, they love to shop. They're
My
expensive.
son, you better stop it. Remember $800 and some odd dollar tickets he bought for Beyonce?
I wish the fuck I would.
But anyway, listen, we gotta take a quick break, okay? And pay some bills, okay?
Yep. Well, we're back from our commercial break. So ladies.
What happens when you take breaks? You end up coming up with these questions. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a conversation. The question is, I think we've all been in toxic relationships. Do y'all have fun more with a toxic person or a down to earth person?
Toxic. I can say that off the bat. For some reason, I like bad boys.
I
I wouldn't really say all bad boys are toxic, but I like a challenge, I guess is a better word.
That makes sense.
Okay. Stacey?
Okay, I would say I've dealt with more toxic type relationships. It's not what I want now. I want something different. I have something different. I may trickle back and feel like I need toxic or want that relationship to be some form of toxic, but I know the person I'm with is not that type. So I would say I would like somebody normal. I have something normal.
Okay. Glow?
If I were younger,
Go,
I
Lord.
would say I have a lot of fun with toxic folks. It just is. I mean, at that age, it's like excitement is key for me. So, yeah, I would have. Yeah. So, but I have to be honest with you, up until this point in my life, I feel like all the relationships were toxic. Because if they weren't, I wouldn't be with them today. I mean, I
Okay.
would be with them today if they weren't.
Okay. Okay.
I like a little bit of spice. I get bored very easily.
Okay. So my question is this, because I hear it all the time. I hear women say, I want a good man. I don't want to get beat on. I don't want this. I don't want that. But then when they get a good man, they kick him to the curb because he's not toxic enough. He doesn't bring that fire. He's calm. He's peaceful.
That
Why?
sounds like a young person. That sounds like a really young person saying that.
No,
No, it's not.
I'm saying that sounds like
It sounds, but it's
It
not.
sounds like a young-minded person.
Yeah,
It's the mindset of whoever it is. They're still at that age that they appreciate the toxicity in relationships. Whereas mature folk that think adult like don't want toxicity. I mean, why would you want someone to crack you over your head? Or why would you want someone to cuss you out? Or why would
Okay,
you
see
want
that I'll never understand because I've seen women say, "Well, I don't know if he loves me if he don't beat me." What the fuck are you talking about?
That's crazy.
That's to me that's mental health, but I get into that another day. But I watch it. Okay, so full disclosure, on my Facebook every day, there are women that I have been friends with for years that talk about, they post every day, I need a good man. I'm tired of being in a toxic relationship. And then one posted today, and Glow, I think I sent you the screenshot. She said, I'm tired of being in this relationship with this man. Things are too peaceful. I need toxic. That
I'd
makes
say who would post that? First of all, if you're in a relationship, why would you post that on Facebook? That'd be my first thing.
Okay, so the people are weird nowadays, and there's a lot of things going on that makes absolutely okay. Common sense is not common anymore. We all know that.
Absolutely.
Okay, it's not. You know, okay, so I almost got spiritual because there's
You can get spiritual if you want.
Satan is running rampant right now, and there are things that I'm watching that's happening that if you read the book of Revelations, it had to happen. It has to happen. I don't like that it's happening, but like people are, it's better to be toxic than it is to be normal. And the world is shit right now. It is. If I wasn't in the relationship I was in right now, I'd stay in the house and stay to myself. I don't want to touch nothing out there. There's too many diseases running around. Everybody's having sex with everybody. You know, they passing these diseases. It's crazy. And to work in a club, to be a bouncer, to do security, to go into other states and do security, and you know, being in this kind of field, you think, oh well, it might just be where I'm at. I've watched it in every other state. It's like you can't really, without being in a bad mental space, think this is okay. But people really think this is okay.
There's a lot of folk out there that think it's okay.
And they really do.
Great. But you know what? It's not even the fact. You know what? I'm gonna go a little further with it. Do they think it's okay, or are they so used to it now that it just is a part of their lives? That's just that's what they've accepted. In other words, can you lose yourself so much in a relationship that you will accept anything?
Yes.
No.
But there are women out there, and I know that there are men out there that will accept anything. Oh, hey, girl.
Hey, we switched spots.
You popped up, and then you popped out, and then you popped back in.
Now, okay, so when you say anything, like give me an example of anything.
Lord. Okay, so for example, like you just said, you said there are women out there that say they think that it's cool for a man to beat on them because they think that they love them. Now you think about it. That's a person, to me, this is Glow's opinion. To me, you already lost yourself. You are no longer that person. In other words, what I'm saying is, it's like,
whoa,
what is going on?
Whoa,
what was that?
Hey, I'm making sure I'm not doing it.
Is there storming outside?
No, not here.
No, not here.
It's just tripping. But anyway, as long as it keeps going, I'm fine. But the recording's still going. We're good. So anywho, what was I saying?
About a person
when you got that, when you have people that appreciate the toxic relationships, when you have people that are like that, is it because some of them just really feel that way, downright feel that way, but others have been so convinced, they're so convinced that that person loves them, and that's why they do what they do.
But what if they grew up that way?
Okay, because that's what I was about to say. Like,
right. They may have been about
maybe their dad was like that, or
abused as a kid.
But that's that goes back to the question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can be raised by volatile parents. You really can. You can have you can see your parents fighting every damn day of the week. You can do that. You can see that. But it doesn't mean that you have to be that way. If you hated it growing up, you hated to see that in your family growing up, then what makes you think it's okay to bring it into your own relationship? That's something you hated. But the problem is, did you grow up like that? Did you lose yourself? Did you forget who you were? And now you've taken on someone else's characteristics.
Okay, so maybe if they grew up that way, they didn't lose themselves because they never had a chance to find themselves. So they only going on based on what they seen or what they know. And was they abused physically? Was they abused mentally? Because a lot of things that I've noticed, especially working in strip clubs and working around strippers, um, a lot of them come from a toxic background. And um, I didn't understand this when I started working there, but the woman who trained me to do my job was like, you got to understand the person you're dealing with, because most of them have daddy issues. Most of them have been raped. Most of them have been through something that makes them the person they are today. So you got to take yourself out of thinking they're just a normal girl walking in off the street trying to dance and make money. It's not about that to them. They're looking for something else. I didn't understand that when I started working there. But then I got to know some of these girls on a personal level. Not that I've ever messed with them or anything, but now some of them are like my sisters. And I've watched out for them, and I've watched a lot of them grow up from being the 17, 18, 19-year-old in the strip club to 30-year-old women. And it amazes me that a person can go through so much, but you never know the person you're dealing with, because some will crumble and stay in that mind frame. And then you watch some of them work so hard to beat addiction, to beat being in toxic relationships, to where they stand today. And I'm so proud of these girls, because they didn't have the parents to tell them or to raise them the right way. They had to learn from the streets.
So basically what you're saying is they made a choice. That's what you're saying.
Yes and no, because some of them
to change, a choice to change, I guess.
Yeah, they made a choice to change. That means that they really knew that that's not who they are. Just like when without going into family details and all that good stuff, let's just say this. I never thought it was okay. I never once thought it was okay. My thing was, I found myself to be so in love that I allowed it to be okay. So I chose that path, is what I'm saying. When I got sick and tired of it, when I was able to predict the actual behaviors of the individual, I knew then it was time to walk. If I could kick back and go, okay, this person gonna come in the door, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do this, they're gonna act this way, they're gonna say this, and then as soon as they do that, they're gonna be, I gotta get the hell out of here, and then they're gone. You knew it. You knew every word that was gonna come out of their mouth. You knew every single behavior that was gonna come out of their body. You knew it. Are you choosing to stay in it and deal with it? Or are you going to choose yourself and walk away from it?
But sometimes I think they play with your mind so much, because my first marriage, I was beat up, abused, mentally, physically. He cheated, and I continued to go back. Even when he left me for another woman, he made me believe that he was all I could ever get, and I was overweight then and not feeling good about myself. I constantly, no matter what, I always went back to this guy.
But
because I was so, and I carried that through, and I still talking with my counselor, I still carry that through, and still, sometimes think, I wasn't good enough, or I need to change all these things about me to feel better about myself for somebody else. And that's just my perspective. I don't even know if this person is thinking that. I'm just perspecting that, say, another guy or whoever is thinking about me a certain way, whether he is or not, just because that's how I feel.
You know what's crazy that we're bringing this up is because, did you all know? Well, you didn't know. There's no way you would have known. One of my first questions to anyone that I am choosing to date, one of the first questions is, what is your temperament like? That's the very first question. And I really listen to those answers. You can, if you sit, I've gotten to the point where I can literally, I'm like, are you fabricating the answer because you want this relationship right now? Or is this who you really are? So it's an opportunity that you have to take, it's a chance you got to take, right? So you get involved. Let's say it doesn't go the way that you want it to go. You have a choice. I don't know why everything in life is all about choices. You have a choice to either stick in there, hang in there, deal with the repercussions of hanging in there, or you have a choice to walk the hell away. Don't holler, money is an issue. Don't say that, because guess what? If anybody is listening right now, I'm going to tell y'all there's money out there that you can get to help with your family and your household. So at the end of the day, don't let money be the thing to keep you. It's all about a choice. You got to love yourself.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
Well, the reason I'm saying that, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why I'm saying that. The reason I'm saying that is because I know my position. I know my position. And I know what I had before I walked away from that marriage. And I know what I have versus now. And at the end of the day, I've recognized I would have, you know what? When you're in a relationship and you thinking about offing yourself because you're so hurt and you're so unhappy and you're so sad and you're so angry and you feel hated on by your significant other, I'm making a choice. And I don't give a damn whether I am broke as hell or not. I'm out. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to take my life and sacrifice it all because you don't give a shit about me or because you don't feel like I'm worthy enough. That's what you're thinking. But I had to really reflect upon myself. I had to be the man to look in the mirror. I had to look at myself, regardless of whatever they can give, whatever they've given, whatever they thought they gave, whatever. At the end of the day, it didn't matter to me. I'm walking because I value me more than any of that. I value my children.
I was going to say, did you have kids at that point?
I had children, but they were adults at that point.
So that is the difference between me and you. I had young children, and
I'm not talking about the first marriage. I'm talking about this last one.
Okay.
I was married for 21 years. So
that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's just not a choice. You don't have anywhere to go. You know, I lived in a hotel, which was a terrible life with my children. And that was like the last of the last sorts because this guy who I kept going back to, and I even went back to him when he went to jail and got out of jail. I went back to him again because I was in a hotel and I felt like I had nowhere to go.
But that's codependency. Is that really?
I mean, that probably it is.
Okay.
That kind of sounds like the Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, that's the difference. That's called codependency. That means that you're dependent upon the individual regardless of what they did to you. Like Anton said, Stockholm syndrome. You become so used to it. It's not accepting at all, but it's like you feel like there's no other way.
Yeah, but I'm saying
you rely regardless.
It's not really a choice because I had no other options but to live the way I was living, which was terrible, or go back and have somebody to help me.
Then that's an option. Then that's an option. I mean, you either stay in the bad place you felt like you was, or you go back to the bad shit you knew. Like I'm not saying there were good options, but there are options. Okay. Ladies, we have to bring this to an end right now. We will do a part 2. We done went over our time. I want to thank y'all for coming and doing the show. I don't want to end it right now because I feel like we're going into a deep space right now. So as soon as we can, I want to get y'all back and I want to finish this conversation. My name is Anton Scott.
I'm Gloria Talley.
I'm Dawn Richards.
I'm Stacy Johnson.
And we are signing off. Thank y'all for coming out and being with us tonight. We will see y'all soon.
Bye.
Bye.